just want to take a moment and share with you how this course probably is going to feel a little bit different to you than other courses that you've taken. And it has to do with, fancy word is called pedagogy, but it has to do with how I specifically think it's important for students to learn and how that kind of gets reflected in the course and Moodle specifically. So the easiest way to say it is that the fancy term for it is that this is competency-based education. But what it amounts to is something that's very, very simple. There's all kinds of fancy theories in that, but the actuality is extremely simple. Typically in a course, the courses that you've had in high school and college up to this point, there's a full semester, and the instructor and you run through a set chunk of material, and as you kind of go through, you do assignments and exercises that have due dates, and you turn those in, and those get graded, and you continue, and usually there will be at some point perhaps a midterm, exams, 2, 3 major exams, a final exam, maybe a large project, a large paper, or something like that. That has a rubric associated with it, and as such, you work through that rubric, you do the best job that you can at meeting the requirements that are stated in that rubric, and then the instructor works through and grades that. This course is designed a little bit differently, and actually it works really well for courses, as this one is a programming course, and the philosophy is this. When we as a department take a look at students who are going to come out of this programming class, what we're concerned about is not as much that on week 3 you were able to, complete the assignment on nested for loops and submitted it on time, and then we were able to grade that in some fashion against a rubric. What we're really more concerned about is that when you come out of this course on the end, that you have very specific skills, that you are able to do very specific things. Now, with that said, we're all programmers. We've all kind of been doing this for years, and we understand that everybody kind of learns at a different speed. And there may be the majority of people might be able to, on week 3, complete that nested for loop application and demonstrate that. But there may be some other people, for whatever reason, they're completely new to programming, or they were just busy that week, or whatever, really aren't able to demonstrate that until week 5 or 6, maybe. Okay. But if we take a look at the end of the semester, they are still able, at the end of the semester, at the end of the course, to demonstrate that. And so that's the kind of hypothesis or theory behind this competency-based education, is that what we're going to do is we're going to look at what you can demonstrate over the course of the semester, and not specific with regards to certain times and due dates. Now, we do have some of those, and I'll talk about those in just a second. So that's the essence of that. And if I go over here, if you look on the left-hand side, you'll see like I said, the fancy term is competencies. Some people will refer to them as outcomes, proficiencies, and we're just going to be very simply, we're going to refer to these as skills. So if you click on the skills, you're going to see that here's mission 1, and here are the skills that I have included for mission 1, and you'll need to demonstrate those over the course of the semester. Now, mission 1, the mission 1 project, is going to have opportunities for you to demonstrate these. Now, many, if not most, if not all of these will also be able to be demonstrated in mission 2 and mission 3 and mission 4. You can see that I'm still working on updating some of this. This is a transition. This is the first time that we're actually kind of teaching this course in this fashion. Okay, so these are the skills that we're going to be looking for you to demonstrate across the course of the semester. Now, you probably saw down here it says student proposed skills. This is another thing that I think is really interesting. The course has 1,000 points, and 600 of those points are going to be available via the demonstration of these specific outcomes up here. But having done this for a very long time, I know that many students kind of head off in their own direction and learn lots of really really cool things, and I think that that should be validated in some fashion. So there are potentially 100 points down here, and there's some rules down there, and you can read those. But there's some 100 points down here where if you decide that, hey, one of the things that I know is really common is a lot of students like to figure out how to hook up their game pad to the computer and use it to control their robot. That's not a skill that I teach specifically in the course, but if somebody goes off and learns that and implements that, I think that that should be rewarded in a sense, or at least acknowledged in terms of points. Okay, so that's one layer of the competency-based assessment, which is these specific skills. Another layer of that is this practice area right here, where this is through the Cengage Online, where you'll go in, and the fancy term for this is a sandbox. You'll go online into what is a C#, our programming language sandbox, and they'll give you some directions as to the application, the simple little application they want you to make. You'll code that up, and you'll kind of run it and test it. And when you get it 100%, i.e., you have that application accomplish just what the specifications are asking for, then you get credit for that. And again, these things are correlated with missions. The one thing I'll say with that is that I've found when I teach that even though these guys right here are correlated with mission 1, definitely go in during mission 1 and give them a shot. But sometimes what you're going to find is that kind of coming back to them after you've worked a little bit with more code, you find it a little bit easier. So you'll notice that there's really nothing in mission 4. If I would say go ahead and peek at these guys in mission 1, when we're in mission 1, and knock out the ones that you feel pretty comfortable with. If you're kind of struggling with them, just put them off. These are available all semester long. Okay, so you can hit these anytime. There are no due dates. The only due date on this is that all of these, the opportunity you have to complete these is that you have to complete them prior to the Sunday before finals week. So you have all semester to do these. Take your time. The big caveat there is don't wait, though. Just because they're due, don't wait till that last week to knock all those out. All right. So that's another layer of this competency based. And then also there is the knowledge. And the knowledge is, there's an easy way to say this is it's really book knowledge. It's concepts and terms and these are facilitated through Moodle quizzes. And you'll see that for each quiz, other than there's a few here that I created myself, but all the rest of these come directly from questions from the textbook that I've kind of picked through. And so there's a review that you can use as much as you want to kind of learn that material. It's open book, open note. It is unlimited in time, unlimited in attempts. It's a great way to pick up the information that you need to learn. And then there is a quiz that again is open book, open note. It's really kind of how we operate as developers. So no secrets. We all have great reference material, and we certainly want to be able to use that reference material. The one caveat is you have as many attempts as you want, but it is limited by time. So you do kind of have to be familiar with the material to be successful on those quizzes. Okay. So those are the 3 elements that will go into your grade. And let me see, if I go to course grades, you're going to see that they are right here. So there are 200 points for the practice. Those are the mind tap. There are 200 points for the quiz. That is those are the Moodle quizzes, and then 600 points for the skills tracker. So there's 1,000 points. This is the extra credit, if you want to think of it like that. These are the 100 points that you can earn above and beyond. So if you have interest in kind of exploring something other than what we're exploring in the class, uh, send a proposal to me. That's as simple as sending an email. Say, hey, John, you know what? I really want to figure out how I can add a timer to one of my applications so that the user has only, they're limited to how many times, how often, or I'm sorry, not how often, how long they can take to accomplish a specific task. That's something that students will do. It's not something that I teach directly, and something like that would certainly be worth, 10 points or something like that. So get that to me. All right. So that is basically, in a nutshell, the way the course is structured using competency-based education. Um, what you will find as far as actual due dates is if I click on mission 1, the elements that are due are these right here. Every mission project has a debriefing, and it has a project. These are both due at the end of the mission, and I will not accept those late. I suppose you might perhaps be worried, well, shoot, if I don't get that in, then I won't have an opportunity. Those competencies, rolling back to what I said before, you are welcome to demonstrate those competencies to me on any project. So it's kind of up to you. You have agency. Please pay attention to the competencies that you've completed and the ones that you've not completed, and work to make sure that you demonstrate those to me. The capstone project, the very last one, is your opportunity to demonstrate any competencies that you have not demonstrated up to that point. So that goes to my main underlying premise that what we're looking for is that when you come out of this course, you can demonstrate as many of these skills as as you can. And so that last capstone project is an opportunity for you to roll back. If you missed one of the skills and didn't get that demonstrated in either mission 1, mission 2, or mission 3, the final mission, the capstone project, is your opportunity to do that. I'm going to pull up one more thing just to kind of show you what it looks like, these competencies look like with regard to an assignment. So here's the conversation. This is the project for the first mission. And so there are some directions. And if you come down here, you'll see that I have required skills and extended skills. Now, I haven't broken those out in the tracker, but this should give you some idea of what I think of as a minimum level of skill, and then perhaps kind of extended skills. Now, my thought is that everybody is going to be able to do all of these over the course of the semester. But if you're new to programming, you may, in your very first program, your first application you're going to turn in, you may feel only comfortable doing all of these and maybe a couple of these, and that's totally fine. But I wanted to give you a sense of what I think of as a minimum. Okay. Well, hopefully that gives you a little bit of an understanding as to how the course will be graded using competency-based education and or assessment. And if you have any questions at all, please get with me. I want to make sure that over the course of the semester that you're very, very clear about what my expectations are for you as a student and as a learner, and how you're doing. So if you have any questions again about kind of like where are you in this whole thing, it's not a typical grade. Please contact me as soon as possible. I'll be happy to walk you through that. Thank you very much for listening, and have a great day.